What is going on? What is going on? Everybody in the house, what is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up.
What is going on? What is going on? Cleveland Terry Show, aka Tech Thursday, aka depending on what we want to call it on a Thursday. That is what we are doing today. Welcome out. Sorry for the late start. It's been kind of a crappy week. I'm still trying to get my dog stitches out, so I had to take him in this morning, and they told me that he wasn't ready to get his stitches out. I don't know about you guys, and I'm fighting a cold, so you can probably hear it in my voice. But I don't know about you guys. If I go to a doctor and they do the work, they cut out this mass out of my dog, all right? They know the severity of said mass. So when they're done and they say, hey, come back in a week, we'll schedule it for this. I'm like, hey, you sure that's enough time? Oh yeah, come back in a week. And I get there and they're like, still not yet, still not ready. Shouldn't you have known that? Like, that's like your main job to know. So now I have to wait another week to get a stitches out, which isn't the issue. I don't really care about the stitches being in or not. It's just, I don't know. People just are not operating at the level that I have come to expect from the world. Everybody's slightly mediocre at their jobs, whether it be, I'm sure the work is fine, but just mediocre. Everybody's just operating mediocre. So that was the first thing. So I sat in the vet's office for, 45 minutes for them to tell me that, oh, you got to come back. Thanks. And then I come back, and you guys know I've been talking about this stupid power issue. I'm not asking for help on my cold. I'm already working on that, guys and girls. I'm just telling you my experience. Anyway, so it'll be worked out. Then you guys also know that I have been, it's not a laziness thing, but it's legitimately a timing thing. I got to replace the breaker in this specific room because every time I come in, not every time, but there's no rhyme or reason to it, which is what's the most frustrating part about it. The breaker's overloading, but it just decides to overload when it wants to. There's no rhyme or reason. Like, I could be in this room all day, not a single problem. I go to bed, turn everything off except for like the one computer, and then it'll pop. So I came in there to start the show. That was off, so I had to again reset that breaker. And then if you guys work with any type of like OBS or any type of streaming stuff, you guys know that you got to turn everything back on. Computer, you got to open up OBS, you got to run all of your secondary apps and stream decks and all that stuff to get it going. It just takes a minute. But it is what it is. So I'm here just waiting for my tea to finally get to a drinkable temperature, and then we'll go from there. And then I had stuff on my desk that I'm not allowed to show anybody yet. So that's a thing too. And then I didn't realize it until I sat down. I'm like, I got to move some stuff around. So, but besides that, I guess everything's good. I guess. How's everything going in your life? Oh, by the way, I keep seeing this. I saw it at the end of the show last week, and I'm seeing it today from my guy DJ6. Maybe he's busy DJing on Twitch. Oh, weird, that never happens. 6, why do you care if I DJ on Twitch or not? Why? I need to know why that's so important. I mean, Just Twitch. I'll DJ when I can. I'll DJ when I have time. But, I'm sure like a lot of people out here, I enjoy DJing on Twitch, but I also DJ a lot. There's times when I'm DJing that I don't even mention it to you guys. I mean, last weekend, I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5 events on my own, and I worked through the entire weekend. So sometimes when I come back and then I go to my office and there's like, hey, you have 12 projects you still need to finish. I finished 2 last night. I was really excited about 2 very, very big projects. Those were my biggest ones. Now the other ones are going to be small. Well, it's relative because I still have all my YouTube content that I have to shoot. So that's relative, but like my office work for clients that have already paid me to do stuff, I had to finish those projects. And it was a relief to be finished last night, even though I did go to bed at about 3 a.m. But it was a relief to finish. I'm very excited to be moving forward because there are things that I've been wanting to do. You see, I've said this before, but when you have projects to do, and I'm not talking about the YouTube content, like I can get that done, that's easy. But I mean, when you have like serious things you do, the things that you want to do, which is like, oh, I want to go back to making music. I want to open up my push. Ableton 12's out. I want to work on that a little bit. I want to send some stuff through the rotary, through the Euphonia. There's some stuff I want to do, but that all takes time. And especially music takes a lot of time. So I can't be messing around with music and all these other things, knowing that I have client projects to do. So that's been weighing on me. And I'm glad to be done. I think you should try live call in on the, you know what? Cal, what I did think about that. Excuse me. I have been thinking about that. I just got to fix some things in OBS to make it a little more fluid. Again, it's just a time issue. I actually have time today. Maybe I'll work on some of this afterwards. Did you see what happens though? You see, I'm talking about this now and I'm like, but I want to make music, but I want to do this, but I got to shoot some content. I'm only one man. I only have so much time in the day. Hold on 1 second, guys, while I do this thing called cough. I don't have my things up here. Let's try this. Okay. This is, in a minute, my throat's going to loosen up. And it's not going to sound good. It's not the worst cold I've ever had. I got it from my annoying 12-year-old bratty little daughter. I love her to death, but my God, the age of 12 sucks. Absolutely sucks. There's nothing good about a teenage, preteen daughter. Not one thing. Now you might be saying, "Oh, it gets better." Look, I've had a daughter. This is my youngest. Trust me, they're all the same. They're all the same, and there's nothing worse. Nothing worse. You can't reason with a preteen girl. Like you could reason with a guy. My boy, he was easy. I just put the fear of God in him. But my daughter, I heard her try to say no to me last night. You're out of your mind. I'm hoping I don't burn my mouth. Okay. Anyway. All right, let's go check out some comments here. All right. I gotta see, this stuff's gotta come off. I didn't need that up there for 5 hours. 12-inch skins in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Eric Cunningham in the building. First time watcher. Hey, thanks for hanging out today. I appreciate you. you guys all know the way this works. If you are new here, it's very, very simple. If you have any questions, specifically tech questions, business tech, DJ related, obviously, but if you want to ask a question that doesn't necessarily relate to it, that's fine too. I will try to get it answered, but make sure you put the hashtag ask in front so I can see it. And trying to see here. There's so many options here. What is this toggle pen? Oh, and that puts you to the top. Oh, this comment app that I got from Social Stream or Social Stream. This is the best app. This is the absolute best app. First time joining your live stream, Brett. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Oh, this is fantastic. You don't understand how happy I am right now. I am very, very happy. Kalo in the building. Roy Calwood, T Diesel. That's my mod. You respect my mod. Brett Lewis. I already said. DJ Joe, South Africa. Hey, thanks for hanging out today. Appreciate that. Who else we got? Jeet in the building. Chicago. DJ Kenny in the building. That's my guy. Still morning in the West Coast. It's morning to someone. Okay, so let me just slide down here. He misses you on Twitch. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I get it. But I don't know, man. I like Twitch. I really do. I do. It's not even about the fact, and what's up, Aaron? It's not even about the fact that I don't want to be on Twitch. I do want to be on Twitch, but I don't know, just okay. One of the biggest issues that I have is that I don't have a setup in my normal place, because since I've moved this off and it's now like my docking station, the only way to do this is if I either bring in my Rev 7. There's stuff that I'd love to test live on the live stream that I can't test because I'm not allowed to. So there's that. I'm definitely not picking up a Euphonia and my turntables and bringing them over here. That's too much work. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I just bought a new GoPro for our 360 booth. When we don't use the 360 booth, might as well plug in the GoPro, and then I can technically put it over on my turntable station. I can put it anywhere actually, and then maybe I'll do it then. But it's a lot of work having to put the gear up here and then take the gear down and then shoot a YouTube video, put the gear back up. Like, it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And by the time it was all said and done, I barely, even when I was on Twitch, I was doing a talk show, you know. Sorry. T Diesel is a thing on your desk, the Rain Performer. That cat is already out of the bag. So there's obviously nothing on my desk. See? Nothing on my desk. But except for Stanton stickers. So I have a big table that I use for my turntables in my S11. And like, this stuff used to sit on the side of it. But when I had to put the Euphonia down to set that up, I have no room. I had to, the whole table's filled up. Man, that mixer is wide. So yeah, no, I got nothing here. Nothing behind my hands. But we know the cat is absolutely out of the bag. It's actually slightly frustrating because of the way that they did, you know, release the information. Because there are embargo dates, you know, so there's things I cannot say at all. I mean, technically I can't say if I have it or don't have it, but it's going to be a minute before said product is released. So I'm trying to figure out the best way. I mean, obviously, if I did or did not have a product, I have to test it. I got to test it live. I got to take it out. I got to do all these things. So that's going to be different. I will tell you this. I will tell you this thing though. By the time that I review this product, there won't be a single thing that I don't know about it. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway. So Andy Camacho in the building. Let me go back up here. Which rep did you talk to? Out of curiosity. I'm always curious when people act like they know stuff. I'm just curious. Okay, hold on. I got to clear my throat, guys. I'm sorry. This is not going to work. And then we'll get to the other one. Hold on. I am really excited about moving forward with our party. Yeah, I'm excited too. It should be a really good party. Just got a couple more questions before I sign the contract. So if you don't mind, let me just get out my questions here. One, what kind of lighting do you use? Specifically, do you use Chauvet? Yeah, I have a whole bunch of Chauvet lights, but I have a lot of other ones. There's a lot of good companies out there. Okay. Do you use RCF speakers? No, I use JBL and QSC, depending on the size of your party, but they're all good speakers. Last question, the most important question I have. Do you mix in key? Do I mix in key? Well, I mean, I was at a party once and the DJ played a transition that was completely out of key. I could not unhear it, ruined my whole night. Can I see your Serato mixed in key playlist, please? Okay, back to, I have to keep hush. You can, no, you don't have to DM me, Sean. I have my own contacts. It's okay. But I can tell you, that I can speak honestly on that. It's definitely not coming out in the fourth quarter. So I don't know what that person was telling you. That I can say without being, it's not. All right. Andy Camacho says, question, what do you think about the Pioneer Euphoria rotary mixer? I think that it's sitting right over there on my other desk on one of my workstations. And I like it. When I put that video out saying, oh, I'm going to need help. I need to read the manual. It wasn't about, this is going to seem strange. It wasn't about the fact that, and if you didn't know that, Andy, you got to follow me on IG also, Cleveland Terry with an _. It wasn't about the fact that it's like, oh my God, it's so technical. Because people's like, guys, it's just a rotary. Just turn the knob. Like, no, it's not just any DJ mixer is just but that doesn't mean that it makes the most sense. You see, if you're coming from faders all the time, it really messes with you. It messes with you when you don't have a crossfader. It messes with you when, like for me, my indicator of like what channel I'm on, if I'm on the left deck or the right deck, is I just look down, see my crossfader, it's down. But with rotary, it's just harder. It's harder to realize. The effects, which are great, but they also have a master effects, and those master effects can be also like an overdrive. So there's just little things that I was just like, I'm trying to wrap my head around, because the whole point of using like, a Neve converter, or a mixer such as that is that, you can push the system and it will actually sound better because those analog converters are kicking in, and now you're getting compression, you're getting saturation, and it sounds better. Like, I mean, in all honesty, I can tell you this right now. I've tried to push the hell out of that mixer and I can't get it to clip. Like, it's really impressive from that standpoint. But so it's more of a fundamental change in how I DJ. Like I mean, after I posted that, I had to go and do some errands, and then I came back, and then I worked on it some more. And then the more I use it, the more I got more comfortable with it. It's just it's just different, it's just different. I mean, at least with the V10, you had up faders, you know, I mean, because the sound is going to be comparable to the V10, but you had up faders, and it's just different when you have no faders, you know. Yeah, just little, it's the little things. It's the little things. Uh, but I do like it. I think it's very, very cool. I think I think it's, I think it's a good looking device. I mean, you know, I mean, the Opus Quad, the Euphonia, um, I like the color wears that they're going with here, and I know, and I don't even. It's not like the colors of Alpha Theta. It's just the colors that they have gone with, and the rose gold is just working for me. You know, it's just nice. I actually kind of wish that the Omnis was the same color instead of the all blue, which I don't mind the all blue, but I think I think that'd be a cool little, you know, maybe almost like a first year thing. Like, you know, Alpha Theta is releasing all these products, and this is like the design scheme and color scheme that they're going with. I would have liked that, but neither here nor there. Not a big deal. Brett Lewis says, how is it that hard? How is the hard case gig bar move working out for you? I've just got one. So if we're talking about the super hard case, like the flight case, I don't have one of those. The issue with me specifically, because I can buy one, it's not like I can't. The issue is, it's so much larger than the original Gear Gig Bar case that it takes up too much space. Like, I wish they just would have made a hard case the same size. Like, how hard would it have been to just, you know, you probably could have gone off, you know, a fourth of an inch around and just make a hard case out of it. But they had to make this like Superman case, like a coffin that I don't want. So I don't have one. I probably won't have one. In a minute, I'm about to go and make my own case. In all honesty, I'm going to go into business and make my own Chauvet cases. Every single device they have, I'm going to make a case for. Not every device, you know what I'm saying. And it's going to be sleek and slim, and I'm going to sell it for $5,000 a piece. All right. All right, let's see here. All right, DJ Joe. I recently purchased a Rain 1 and the original slip mats are crap. Okay. I've looked, and the only slip mat I can find on the net in South Africa here is Tractor 12-inch butter rugs. Yeah, they'll work. They'll work just fine. 12 inch is 12 inch. Pause. They'll work just fine. Have at it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my first Rev 7 slip mats were the ones I cut up out of my phase slip mats, and they worked just fine. So have at it. Okay. So I was about to upgrade. Should I wait? Should you wait for what? Act 101, Collins. What are you excited about this year? Says Kalo. Oh man. Well, if we're talking DJ gear, we're kind of in a dark mode right now. So what is it? March? Nothing happens up until around June in general for product stuff, DJ stuff, normally speaking. You know, once we get through NAMM, usually there's like maybe one or two like releases that come through. And then it's just dead until right around June, July, because they're getting prepared for DJ Expo. So I have nothing to be excited about DJ wise. I'm excited that we restarted our AV company. So that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited that we purchased our LED wall, and it should be here mid-April. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to start working on that and renting that out because that is a very nice revenue stream that we didn't have before. So I'm excited about that. Just the AV in general, I'm excited about. So that's all. Okay, let's just say. Well, thank you. I'll just put it on my ghost machine. Dave Morales is master of the rotary. He makes it look fun, but like you said, it's so different. Yeah, it is. It is. Nothing wrong with it. It is a slower way of DJing that I'm just not used to. Like, I personally couldn't take a rotary to like one of my bar mitzvahs, or even, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that it can be used for anything. I know that's not the issue. It's just there's a couple of things that that kind of, they don't go against it, but depending on your workflow, it might be things that you're like, oh, I got to bring something else now. So, like for instance, on this, you know, very expensive rotary mixer, not the most expensive, but on this very expensive rotary mixer, you have to look at it from almost like an analog perspective, like you're going back, 30 years, because, there are no cue points, there are no stems options. I mean, you can go in there from your computer and do that, but I don't know. For me, it's easier to work it. So I guess that I would have to do something like, I'm telling you, I just literally walk around. I walk over gear all day. So I guess technically I could use something like this, right above it to work my cue points, to work my stems and stuff. But I can't even use this one because, technically I could, but it is a record box. This is the XP1, not the XP2. You see what I'm saying? So all you people that are like, oh, it's so good. Even me, so good. When people are arguing with me over the fact that like record boxes on the Rev 7, I'm like, that's a good thing. Oh, well, and they're like, people are complaining. Like, how are you complaining about it being there? Like, that's a good thing. Even if you don't use record box, but this was the first step for me of pissing me off. This device specifically, because I was one of the initial buyers of the DDJ 1000 record box version. And then a year later, they came out with the SRT, which I let go. I was like, okay, I get it. Maybe there's a processor issue. They have to, blah, blah, blah. And then they came out with the XP1. I was already on the 1000 at the time. I'm like, I'll buy that thing. So I bought it. Did I think I was ever going to just be pure record box? Maybe at one point. And then the XP2 came out and it worked with both Serato and record box. But they couldn't fix the record box one to work with Serato. I was pissed. To this day, I think I've used this board probably for an hour. And I bought it when it first came out. So, look, to each their own. I mean, I guess you can use it with the Omnis if you're rocking record box, but yeah, not very happy about that. And yeah, I know you can do some MIDI mapping, but it is not the same when you MIDI map it. It's not the same. And to be fair, even if I had the XP2, I'd probably barely use it. I'm not a person that likes a lot of stuff around my setup, So like which is why I like the controllers and I like S11 and things that have everything already built in, because I don't want to go and have to plug in something else. Now I'm losing another port, or I got to find another stand for this. It's not me. Never has been. But I buy the stuff anyway. But it's not me. Okay. All right, I'm about to ask. All right. Timo says, I'm about to upgrade to the Flex 10. Should I wait since said product is out of the bag? There is no product. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, this is, I mean, in all honesty, this question has kind of already been answered. Okay. Because if you're looking at the Flex 10, Flex 10 has the CDJ style jogs, the 900 style effects. So if you were trying to compare the Flex 10 with the Rain 4, and for whatever reason, you made the choice to get the Flex 10 and not the Rain 4, I don't know how the Rain Performer, we know it's the Performer, we know it's there. I don't know how the Rain Performer is going to be better for you if you preferred that Flex 10 over the Rain 4, if that makes sense. Now, if you're settling, you're like, I'm just going to go with what I know. Then yeah, you might want to wait, but if you don't like the Rain 4, you're not going to like the Rain Performer. I mean, I get the argument could be made if you have the Rev 7, could you be moving to the Rain Performer? That's a possibility, but it's anybody's guess. There's still a workflow issue. There's still the way that Pioneer DJ sets up their workflow and their effects and their stems, as opposed to the way that the Rain 4 / Performer breaks out their stems and everything. So it just depends. It's a use case by use case. Because like with the Rain 4, it's a perfect example. When I would do stem split, everybody loves stem split. I don't personally. Stem split is fine for me, but that's not something that I default to. It's a cool feature to have, but I think that most people probably aren't using stem split like the way Rain thinks you should use stem split. I think most people are just using, the stem separation and using the buttons there and calling it a day. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think it's just a good time to be a DJ. DJ Gino Myrtle Beach, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, fam. You guys have been killing it with the super chats lately. Thank you so much. And look, I tell you this, guys, it does help tremendously. So every time you guys do this, you keep my kid in dance a little while longer. Dance is not cheap. And I am essentially a one income family. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. She does a little part-time work, but yeah, every bit helps. That's why I have a side hustle. That's why I do gigs on the side and work some occasional bars or nightclubs, because it helps. It helps. All the money helps. Okay. I get blisters carrying hard flight cases. Really? Okay. Okay. Flex 10 is the bomb. I don't disagree. I have one here. You know what? Maybe I'll bring the Flex 10 up. The Flex 10 is a super light thing that I can just throw on the table and DJ with. For me specifically, I just realized that I'm a Rev 7 guy. I've said this before, but I'm legitimately a Rev 7 guy, and the Flex 10 is a great device. I just would rather be on moving platters. Big Don Trucker, thank you so much for the super chat, fam. Appreciate you. I gotta figure out how to make this guy. Oh wait, I think it's an option thing. Let's try option. Let me just try to move this up and see if it gets any better. Nope. Trying to figure out why this guy is getting cut off. I got to figure that out. Well, we won't do it now. I was watching my last stream, and when I was working on stuff, I'm like, I'm working on stuff way too long. If I'm working on it for like 30 seconds, okay, fine. But like there was like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, I can't do that to you guys. That's not fair. So we'll fix it on another thing. Don Rafa says the thing about the rotary mixer is muscle memory, especially if you have one or use faders like forever. Yeah, yeah. It's everything. I mean, it's that it's the fact that like in this case, the effects are, and I'm looking over it. That's why I'm over there. The effects are it's essentially a single effect. Okay, so whatever you have your effect set to, it's gonna work both the what do you call it? I can't think of the name right now. But that's okay. I don't have to think of the name. It's one effect for all the parameters. So that's another thing you have to get used to, because like let me just bring it up here. Alpha. Because like for me specifically, I do like the fact that I have a dedicated high pass filter on most of my mixers and controllers. But you don't really descend. I'm like scene. I couldn't think of anything, but the high pass filter is an effect you have to select, and then. But if you want to go to echo, or if you want to go to other things, you can't have both your high pass filter and that on. It's just different. It's just different. You know, I've just gotten used to being lazy. DJ Cold Cut. Pros and cons of renting out equipment. Tops and subs when not in use. I plan on going along with my equipment. Okay. So, this stupid thing. I'm sure you guys can't hear it, but I can hear it. Okay. Pros and cons. Well, the pros are, hey, you can earn a little extra money. If they're not making you money, you might as well take them out to make money. I mean, they're not making money just sitting in a warehouse. Okay. So that's the pro. Also the pro is that if you're the one that's setting up your equipment and, you know, being there and breaking down your equipment, my guy Pierre does it for us in the Bay Area. Like we rent equipment from him, and he's also a DJ up there, but he's moved into the DJ renting equipment because it's a lucrative business, especially again, if you're not working that night, or if you can send another crew to that other job and you set up, you know, that's a good $1,000 to $1,500 for a setup that you can rent out. That's good money. It's easy money. So the cons, very, very easy cons. If you are using said equipment and they mess up your stuff, it's hard to recoup that. Yes, I know it's in the contract and all these things, but you still got to get it recouped. And if you have a gig the following week and now you're like, oh, my stuff doesn't work, well, that's a problem. So it's better if you definitely have some dedicated rental equipment, not like your main equipment. But if it is your main equipment, then yeah, you being there is probably the best thing. But I've had experiences both ways. I've rented systems out to some very big DJs that do, like, you know, DJs for the stars. Like, oh, I'm doing, you know, Janelle Monáe's party. I need a system, and then I'll go and set it up, and then they'll use it. I'll come back the following day and break it down. So yeah, if you can trust the people that are using it, it's fine. I no longer just rent out to random people, you know. People used to want to rent our stages and things like that, and then like 2 separate times, either one time the stages like disappeared, you know. Oh, I need to get them, and they can't find them, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know what, I'm over this. So yeah, I rent very selectively. Gino says, would you know what Pioneer uses as their mix return channels on the Rev 7? I'm trying to record a video set with Mix Emergency. I'm not getting any audio signal. I normally speaking, Pioneer products, it's usually the upper channels, like outside, especially if you're doing like I'm trying to record a video set with Mixed Emergency. What are you using to record with? Like OBS? But I could have sworn, hold on, Rev. I mean, it should be in, it should be in the manual. I'll keep looking as I go here. Okay. How do you program an LED wall? A movie file playing? Well, I mean, basically an LED wall it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, so you're literally putting the LED wall together, and then there is essentially a video box, that you plug everything into, and that box says, oh, okay, you want this to all be one thing. So after that, after you set up that, it's just a matter of plugging in your HDMI or your, RGB or whatever old ass technology you're thinking you want to use. SDI, HDMI, all that stuff is in there. DVI. But you can put anything on it. It's just a big TV. Don't try to make it bigger than it is. It's just a TV. Be on the lookout for Rotary Mix at the next Red Bull style comp. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. The only person that's going to be able to do that is Prion Joni. And I'm supposed to be going to PJ's wedding. I'm still hoping to, but there's one lady that wants to book her LED wall on his wedding date. And if they happen to book it, I cannot pass it up. If all you guys know, LED walls are not cheap. They're very expensive. And we bought enough panels to be able to do two 10 by 20 foot walls, or a ginormous wall somewhere else. So we have to recoup that cost sooner than later, So if that May 4th does happen, I'm gonna have to unfortunately not be able to go to the wedding. If he's on here, I'm sorry, PJ. If you're on here. Even going from the XZ to Opus is a learning curve. Yeah, I would say so. They released the XP too. B squared. Why are you telling me things I know? I love Rekordbox. I think it's a huge announcement. I agree. I mean, it's not Rekordbox. As good as Rekordbox is, the one thing I don't. It's a visual thing. The colors mess with me. I don't have this problem with DJ. I don't have this problem with Virtual DJ. I don't have this problem with Serato, but I have it with Rekordbox for whatever reason. Just for me specifically, I can't find my crates in Rekordbox. The color palette that they use literally disappears. I can't find it. And it's extremely frustrating because I do like Rekordbox. I do. And the more they keep adding on to stuff, the more the potential's there. Although, because I use so many different companies, I'm really getting tired of seeing. I want to assume that people are smarter than what their social media indicates. Like, I really want to assume that. I don't want to be that guy that's just like, you're an idiot. Like, I don't want to be that guy. But it's becoming really hard to talk to people, and just people just in general. Like when Pioneer DJ released the firmware update for the Rev 7, and they said, now you can use Pioneer and you can use Serato. And there are people that are like, are you going to update it for the Rain? For the Rain 1 or the Rain 4? Are you going to update it? And I'm just like, it blows my mind how much people don't know about the products that they use, the products that they buy. You know, it's mind-boggling. I guess if they all knew, I wouldn't have a job. Okay, let's see. Professor PX in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. He's my pioneer DJ, Alpha Theta, guardian angel. He takes care of me. Oh, Professor BX. I did speak to Zimmy yesterday, so that's probably going to be a thing. Just FYI, I heard that you were gonna be there too. Okay. All right. V squared. I was able to MIDI map the Rev 5 with DJ, and you're right. MIDI mapping is not the same. Just bought the DDJ 1000, sold the Rekordbox one, kept the Serato one. It's a workhorse. It's funny. It is a workhorse. I'm not going to say it's not, but it's, I mean, if you use the 1000, it is better on the Rekordbox version. It is absolutely better than the 1000. The 1000's fine, but it works so much better on Rekordbox. Okay. All right, Queso. You can always text me. Most people know this or don't know this. Like my work week between Tuesday and Thursday are exceptionally busy. Like all of my Calendly calls are that day. So like especially Tuesdays, like I'm on calls all day. I had a meeting with Professor BX a couple days ago, and I'm like, I have a window of 1 o'clock to or 1:30 to 2 o'clock, and then I have to go because I got calls. I got meetings. It's just a lot. So yeah, text is easy. You can literally leave a voice message. That's fine too. Not a voice message. You know what I'm saying? Like through the text if you're on iPhone. Anyway. Gail says, I love VDJ because they are compatible with most controllers, so it's always a good backup. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. It's not my my software of choice, but it's very strong. Some would say the best. And I say the best is whatever works for you. Big Rick in the building, or Big Brick in the building, I should say. South Carolina, thanks for hanging out. CT knows the rain performer will be in my hands. You're funny. And DJ Lab will probably have one, and he was texting about the Euphonia. He's like, I might have to buy one of those. Look, hey man, DJing is an expensive habit. I'm just here for the snacks. Thank you for the super chat, fam. Appreciate you. Damn, Donovan Trucker, another 20. Thank you so much. You guys are killing it. You guys are absolutely killing it. Queso, sorry about the other day. I needed to ask you something. Text me. I have to ask you something. Or put in the text. Because in all honesty, I don't answer phone calls. I don't. It's a weakness of mine. It's a weakness. But I tend to not want to talk to people on the phone. I think it has to do with the fact that I spend so much time talking to clients. By the time I'm ready to decompress and finally talk to people, I don't want to. I just don't. It's a me thing. It is an absolute me thing. That's why I'm always schedule it, because then at least I'm kind of locked in. I think I'm gonna start. Would it be bad if I started giving out my Calendly to my friends? Hey, if you want to talk to me, you got to schedule a meeting. I'll call you then. I mean, would that be bad? You think that'd be bad? Action Hank with the $5 super chat. Thank you, fam. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Shancer in the building. What is going on? Thanks for hanging out as always. Mixmaster G in the Netherlands coming in strong. How's it going, fam? Good to see you. What is your view on tube lights? Asks Eric. Well, tube lights are fine. I have a couple here, and I'm starting to work with Ape Labs again. from a ambassador standpoint. So we'll see what happens there. They're very interesting. Every company is very interesting in the way they send you product, because like for me specifically, if anybody wants me to be an ambassador of a product and they're like, hey, we want you to do this, but you can't really show anybody else's product. You have to be exclusive. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, on the whatever Instagram or social or YouTube video that I'm making about the product, like a lot of companies don't want you showing. Like, if I'm talking about, I don't want to go there, but a lot of people don't want you like showing other products or whatever. They just want you to stay with theirs. That's fair. That's fine. But a lot of companies, they want to do that, but then they don't want to give you enough product to where you can use it exclusively. So we'll see what Ape Labs does. But a lot of companies are like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, great, but I need this. I need up lights, and I need this, and I need this, and I need this, because this is what I sell on my parties. And if you want me to promote your stuff, because I know Ape Labs is good. I know they're good. They're just, they're expensive. But if you want me to promote a product, not talking about Ape Labs specifically, you got to give me enough product to be able to talk about. Because if you're like, oh yeah, here's one thing, and I'm just like, well, yeah, but I can't use it. So what am I going to be like? I'm doing uplighting for this room, and I only show the one light. Like, that's silly, So it's little things like that where if you're gonna make somebody an ambassador, they need to give you all the product, all of it, So like at least with Chauvet, I mean, they sent me the Gig Bar ILS, and they sent me the 160. So it was enough to do a party. It was enough to be able to review it. Yeah, would I have loved some 60s? Absolutely. But I doubt they're going to send me 60s. They do things the way they do things. It's not good or bad. It's just the way they do things. So we'll see. But my view on tube lights are, well, they work. I think for most people, tube lights, I feel like there's like a hair on my face. Tube lights and a couple of movers, on totems is all you need for most parties, because the tube lights are they're essentially replacing your color washes. Okay. So if you have like some uplighting maybe on your totem and maybe on your facade, that's changing colors. It's essentially the same thing, except they're projecting. Well, technically, I mean, they should only be projecting 180. Like these Ape Labs, obviously, they project one side, not a full 360, which is fine. Because you don't want them to be everywhere, because it's going to bleed light all over the place. So I don't have a problem with them. They do act as color washes for the dance floor. Do I think that everybody needs them? No, I don't. I'm waiting for whatever company is going to make speaker pole stands that also function as light sticks. Like, I'm waiting for that. I love people that ask me when products are dropping. I'm not telling you anything, especially this guy. This guy is untrustworthy. Me telling somebody when a product is what their release date is like me telling Nick Spinelli before he signed up with Pioneer DJ. Hey, here's some information. It's getting out. We know it's getting out. So I don't tell people anything. I got burned one time, and it'll never happen again. But I find it ironic that the person that's asking me is the same person that I got burned on in the first place. Don't you learn? Okay. All right, Don Rafa, two-part question. Okay, two-part question. Why don't they add send and return to controllers? And would you like to see that added? I would. You know, I I don't need it because the effects are typically of good enough quality for me. You know, at before, I mean, sim returns used to be a huge thing, especially on like the pro mixers. And then I think people just fell out of love with having external stuff, you know. So they realized that you know, it's just another part that they have to put in there. And if people aren't using it anyway, it's an expense that they don't need to do. And even though you're one of the people that loves to send and return, and I'm sure there's several people on here. I mean, you know, a lot of times on these shows, we have a lot of DJ tech nerds. So there's probably going to be more people on here that want to send and return than the regular consumer. Okay. So I think it just didn't make sense, you know. I mean, it's the same people that are like, I have friends that are like, "Oh, I'm buying a new MacBook." I'm like, "Okay, great. You know, I'm going to buy the 16-inch, M3 Max with 64 gigs of RAM and a 4 terabyte hard drive." I'm like, "Stop. What are you doing with it?" "Oh, I'm just going to be DJing." Why do you need to spend so much money then? Why do you need all that stuff? You're not going to use it. You're literally just wasting money. So drop your processor down, drop your RAM down, storage is storage, whatever. But like, it's always been funny to me. Okay, let's see here. M Dizik in the building. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Pablo in the building. What makes the 1000 better on Rekordbox over the SRT? Well, that's easy. It was designed for Rekordbox. So everything about it, specifically the effects, the pad modes, the display, it's just designed for Rekordbox. If you use the 1000 and then you use if you use the 1000, if you would have put the 1000 and the SRT, yeah, they look alike until you load a song in, and then it looks different because the displays, for whatever reason, they only set up the single display, which is that ugly ass, Serato display. But it is what it is. What is your view on tube lighting? That's the third time. Oh, that is a detail that I don't have at the moment. I just know we bought it from overseas. One of the standard LED companies out there. 2.9 pitch. We went kind of for the upper, but not the best. Indoor only. The outdoor ones were stupid expensive, so we decided to go with the indoor because most of our events are in the indoor, and we live in Southern California, so we probably still could get away with an indoor outside, even though the brightness is not as bright, but it's fine. But it has all the industry standard processors and all the things, but I don't have the name for it. I'd have to pull up the invoice. Willie Will in the building. What's going on? Does the Flex 10 work better in Rekordbox or Serato? I currently use Serato. No, I'm going to say the Flex 10 specifically was probably one of the first devices that uses like pad effects properly in Serato. I think they finally did a nice port for both of them. So for the most part, most things are the same for the most part. For the most part. Yeah. So, and then there's the simple fact that obviously the biggest issue right now with Rekordbox is not Rekordbox. Well, it is, but it's not the software. It's stems. And if you have the opportunity to use Serato stems or Virtual DJ stems, and then you want to use Rekordbox, it can be jarring if you're used to the way that certain stems sound. Just facts. They know they need to update it. I'm not speaking anything that is like crazy. But right now, I that is a factor that is holding me back. It was holding me back on DJ. Now the only thing that hold me back on DJ is the fact that it doesn't work with half the stuff I own. Like it legitimately doesn't work with half the stuff I own. I am the biggest cheerleader of DJ. And oh my God, do people think I hate DJ? I don't. I just want the damn thing to work with everything. But they don't. So. DJ Buckwheat says, just learned beat jump mapping on VDJ, started DJing this month. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Beat jump. Everybody uses beat jump differently. I prefer to use it for my instant doubles and for, but like, I don't do the whole, there are people out there that will load a song in and it'll be playing and they will beat jump to like the chorus, or they'll beat jump to the verse, or they'll beat jump back, to double the chorus. That's one way of doing it. I don't have a problem with that. It just does not make sense to me at all. At all. There are people that they're like, oh my God, I have to have my beat jump up because it does not make sense to me. Why do I need beat jump if I have cue points? I mean, because with beat jump, you are at the mercy of whatever you accidentally set for your beat jump options. Like let's say your hook is for instance, I don't know, a two bar hook, probably closer to like an 8 bar, but let's just say it's 8 bar. Okay. And, you have it set, you have your beat jump set to 16. Well, it's going to bring you back into the verse. Like it doesn't make sense to me. To me, it's too many variables for failure that I don't choose to use. I use it for instant doubles and then beat jumping so I can do some cool effects. VDJ works with all my controllers. Hey, I know you VDJ people. I know you guys. I know. You don't have to tell me. I know VDJ works with everything. That's not why I don't use VDJ. It's preference. Bad. What do you mean? Calendly, baby. My wife's gonna one day she's gonna come home pissed off at me. She's gonna be like, you know what? We need to talk. And I'm gonna be like, you're gonna have to schedule that with Calendly. I don't have time right now. And then she reschedules it, fight Tuesday, 3:00. And I'm gonna be like, canceled. Sorry, something came up over and over again. Ray the one in Aruba. Hey, thanks for hanging out today. All right, let's see here. I want you to test my product. Send only the power adapter. That's kind of the way it works sometimes. That is kind of the way it works. Okay. Sorry, I always have to check random messages because you never know what could be out there. You just won $1 million. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. One day, people will read contracts. One day. I sent the contract. Thank you. What do you need from us for setup? I assume power. Do you need anything else? Well, what does it say in my contract that I'm providing? Why don't you start there? Okay. I'm not. If you want to come by to see the location, I've seen the location. I don't need to see the location. Okay. I stitch DJ shirts and embroidery. What's the size? I'll stitch the same one you have on and mail it to you. True fashion quality. Why would I want this on another shirt? It's not even my company. We'll figure it out, Kev. We'll figure it out. Okay. Less is more with lights. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I guess it depends. Okay. you're right. However, it just depends on the client. I mean, I have some clients that want no lights at all, and I have other clients that want too many lights. So it just depends. You know, I think a lot of people, it's not the amount of lights they have, it's the fact that the lights have no synergy. They don't talk to one another, you know? Like they have, you know, they got some wash effects, and then they have some derbies, and then they have some movers and some color washes, you know, and all these things are doing just different things. You know, that can be a lot. I like things to be a little more uniform. I don't want things to be exactly the same. Like if I have movers on and I'm running movers, like I don't want to see, you know, 6 movers all projecting in green. Like that's too much. You know, like I want it to have accents. I want it to accent each other. So like if the room is pink and silver or pink and white, you know, I might have 2 of my movers rocking a pink, and then the other set of movers rocking white, you know, or maybe you know, my uplights are changing from pink to white as we're dancing and stuff like that. But you know, if the room's pink, I don't want to go with like blues and yellows, and like it just I want to keep that vibe for the room. They spend a lot of time and money on creating a theme for the night. And if you come in there and you just start projecting all kinds of colors, it's going to mess up the theme, you know? So I like to kind of keep it similar. That's key. I mean, I don't like when people are just like, the room's all pink and they're like, I just want pink lights. Like, why would you want pink lights when the room is already all pink? You need something to counteract all this pink. So why don't I go with the white? Like that's better. You know, people are funny. People are funny. Those tube lights probably don't wait. They don't wait. Yeah. I mean, literally, I mean, this one right here, I think this is, what, 2 feet, 18 inches. They have the bigger ones, but they all have these magnets on them on the back. So they should be able to sit right on your pole. Pause. Absolute pause. Absolute. Okay. Do you think that Reloop is going to release a new mixer? They already have a new mixer. It's their new, I forget what it's called. But the laid back Luke mixer. It's a little 2-channel portable compact mixer. It's like a little, you know, is it like a 9-inch mixer? But yeah, laid back Luke has one, and it should be coming out. I mean, if it's Reloop, it'll probably come out, I don't know, June of 26. I kid, but kind of not. But I kid, but kind of not. All right, a cinema return is awesome for a small group, me included, but it requires adding an AD to DA set, the in-out jacks, extra expense for a small number of DJs. There you go. He would know. He would absolutely know. T7 needs DJ. You know the funny thing about DJ. I mean, it needs T7 needs DJ for iOS and for the computer. Have they come out with the computer version yet? Since the computer version seems to be easier to make happen. But hold on. DJ. Let's see in there. Let's see if they've updated their resources here. Okay. DJ Gear. DJ Gear and here we go. Native. Okay. Reloop. Still no T7. And I can guarantee you, yeah, you're not going to see a T7 for them. So my issue with DJ, my biggest issue is that, in all honesty, there's like no information, you know, like I've seen their forums, and it's like, hey, T7, people asking, And they're just like, oh, we'll send, if it's in our product development line, we'll blah, blah, blah. Like, don't feed us this. You have people that are asking for, this is your livelihood. Like I'm confused at why in the world they would not. Okay. So, perfect example, like the WMX. So the WMX is a funny thing. All right. So I have some color key. I have some color key movers, the Spot 150s, which I'm going to do the review on soon. Spoiler alert, I like them a lot. Okay. They're honestly the perfect weight. They actually don't even move my Danny Max totems, and those totems can't take a lot of weight. Okay. But they're bright. They're 90 watts. They're small and compact. They have two gobo wheels, which is like the standard nowadays for all these future movers that are coming out, 2 gobo wheels. And, so when I first did it, I went to program it because I knew that the WMX1 or Sound Switch would not have the fixture in there. So I first designed it myself. I actually did pretty good. There was a couple of things that I didn't get right, specifically with being able to select what gobo you want to use. I can't find that in the pro. I forget what the thing's called. Hold on, let me see. It's called there's a word, there's a name for it. All right. It is called it's what is the WMX there's an app for it. W Tools. That's right. Okay. So in the W Tools, when you can obviously download any profile that they've already made for, a light fixture. And when in the event they don't have it, you can add your own. Now it's not going to let me because I don't have the Wolf Mix plugged in. But once you do that, it gives you the option of going to a browser-based program that you can get more detailed with. So I couldn't get my gobos to just change with the button, but I could set the gobos, in the live edit. So I could change them in there. But not like, okay, these are all your gobos, so you can choose, which ones you have. So when I couldn't figure that part out, I'm like, you know what? I'll just send this to WMX and see if they can make a profile for me. So I went into the profiles and I put these things in, and I told them the fixture, uploaded the manual, and then I was going through all the steps. And once you get to the end, it's like credit card. Like, why do they need my credit card? That's weird. And so I just kept going. And once they're finally at the end, there's 3 different options. Could have been 2, but I think it's 3. And I was shocked because it said, thank you. They don't give you a specification of time, but they're like, if you want it done for like immediate release, okay, pay this amount. And it was like, I think it was like $100. Like, it wasn't cheap. Right. And then there was another one that it was like, oh, if you wanted to do it, but then you got to wait, like, I think it was like 30 days or something like that. That was a cheaper amount. And then the free one was like, oh yeah, if you want it, it's like, I think it was like 2 to 3 months or 3 to 6 months or something ridiculous. Right. And I was about to have a field day with WMX, W Tools, and the company that they use to do this. I was about to have a field day. Right. I texted Mojax because he was like, oh, I put one into SoundStream and they got it made for me, pretty immediately. And I'm like, what the heck? What is this? I checked back the following day and it was updated. So I'm okay now, but I was about to let them have it, bro. They were going to get it. I would literally, at that point, I was going to be like, do not buy WMX1. Do not buy it. Like, don't. But then they they redeemed themselves. Okay. Do you dance? Wayne, Alan Boyd be asking the weirdest questions sometimes. Do I dance? Doesn't everybody? Now, I think the question is, did you dance? I used to be a semi-professional dancer. Yes, I did. That's why all my kids, my wife was a dancer. I was a dancer. That's why my kids have the gene in them. So, yes, absolutely. Do not ask me to dance. Do not ask me to show you moves. It's not going to happen. But yes. Cold Cut. Why haven't the manufacturers come out with a standalone controller with rotating platters? Do they know something we don't? I'm still waiting. No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. They could definitely do that. Give it some time, I guess. I don't know. Look, if I was going to put my money on anybody with a standalone with moving platters, I would put my money on Rain. If I was going to put my money on anybody. And I mean, and if that thing ever comes out, and specifically, it can still do Serato, that's going to be a huge seller. But it still needs to be able to do Serato. And by that time, if they come out with a moving platter controller, by that time, if they haven't fixed Engine OS's swapping failure, meaning switching from deck to deck, computer to computer, if they haven't fixed that by then, there's going to be bigger problems because you can't have a turntable style controller and not be able to switch quickly. You know, I mean, it's bad enough as it is, but they're going to need to work on that. I can't wait to DJ with Neuralink. I can. No, thank you. Didn't need stems. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. They do need stems. I think, in all honesty, and I don't know this for a fact, okay? So, but it is my opinion that if you guys have listened to the MPC stems, the ones they just released for their MPCs, I think it's only on the computers right now, on the computer version of it, but it's going to be released to the standalones shortly. The stems on there are very, very good. Stems on Engine OS are trash. So I have a feeling that they're going to port over those stems. They don't in music is nothing if they're not, synergistic with all of their products. I mean, look. This Newmark Mixstream Go right here. These speakers are the same speakers that are in the MPC. What is that? The MPC 1 maybe? Same speakers. Same speakers. Like everything they do, it's just mixing and matching. Mixing and matching. Okay. Alpha are probably waiting for the throttle takeover to update record box stems. I don't know if that matters at all. But possibly, but I don't think that matters. Thoughts on the Apple Vision Pro using algorithm virtual turntables? I don't have a thought on it. It's fine. I mean, I'm it's a cool gimmick, but there's no real like live possibilities. I mean, I guess you could potentially Bluetooth or plug your phone in via the headphone jack. I don't know where the audio is coming from, if it's coming from your phone or if it's coming from the wireless, because the wireless, the Vision doesn't have an audio out. So yeah, I haven't used it yet, so I don't have any real information, but it's absolutely a gimmick right now. Maybe one day it'll be fine, but I don't know. I don't know. Like if I saw somebody rocking a a Vision Pro at a party I'm doing or a party I'm going to. I don't know, man. I think it's too much. Why every time I use my VDJ, I have to reset the settings? Anyone having this issue? No. I don't know what that is, but that shouldn't be going on. You might want to go to the VDJ forums and see what's going on. Thoughts on Simon and Garfunkel Baby Got Back? I've never heard that version. Celebra Harmony in the building. What's going on, fam? All right, let's see here. What time is it? 11:52. Okay, I'm not so far back. Let me hop over here. Huge light shows are coming back. Maybe. Balancing all things. What's going on, girl? Good to see you. DJ is banging that all DJs switch over to the Apple Vision Pro. I hope they're not, because that's not going to happen. Okay. Lehman, rotaries treat me fine. I just need to come earlier. I start late. You still come late. Like, make it make sense. Yes, I'm very aware that FaZe just dropped the firmware update. I have not updated mine. Neither have I. I actually had it before they dropped it, and I didn't have time to update it. It's just supposed to make it just more stable, you know. I think it's so impressive that they're continuing to update the original FaZe devices. Honestly, that's unheard of, because at some point, you gotta come out with a new product to sell more. Like, that's how you make money. Like, it's just, they're not charging you for firmware updates. They don't have any other devices out there. I don't know if they're getting any type of licensing, which I don't think so. For like HID mode in Serato, or I'm trying to figure out how they're going to stay in business without having new products. It's been years. It's very interesting. Very interesting. But so the once in a while disconnect, Rick, is the reason to update. They're supposed to have alleviated that. They're also supposed to have fixed making the sync on both devices even better. But yeah. If they support DJ, I would have bought it right now. I wanted to get the Mixon 8, but I see bad comments everywhere with glitches and faulty units. Yeah, I didn't have a faulty unit, but it did glitch on occasion, and I don't know if that was a symptom of DJ or in the port or the Mixon. I don't know. What's the best DJ controller besides these? There is no such thing as a best DJ controller. There's the best DJ controller for you, but not necessarily the best DJ controller for me, because I know tons of people that will swear by the Prime 4. I like the Prime 4, but it's not the best controller for me. You know, there are people that swear up and down about, I know people right now that would prefer to have the DJ 1000 over the Rev 7. I'm the opposite, you know, but it's to each their own, whatever they're looking for. So there is no such thing as a best controller. But I will say this, there's no such thing as a best controller, but the majority of controllers now are pretty much all good. And I say pretty much because, every so often something will have a potential flaw that is a deal breaker for me, but not for other people. So I'm excited because, on a couple of products, because one of the flaws that I have with another product, they said they fixed. So I'm excited to see if that's the case. Daryl, Rock Live Sound, good afternoon. Do you like any of the Yorkville Tops PAs? I never hear you talk about them because I don't have any. Can't talk about something I don't have. I've used Yorkville. I don't have a problem with them, but I don't have a problem with them, but I haven't used them enough to actually have an opinion. From when I remember them, they sounded good. But I can make the same argument about Yorkville. I can make the same argument about Yamaha. Like, you know, people are like, I don't talk about Yamaha, but I've played on Yamaha. I've used Yamaha. There's nothing wrong with Yamaha, you know? So I don't know. The speakers there's a lot of speakers out there, you know, a lot. So I don't stress over whether or not, I mean, there's somebody was talking about, oh, I just got a deal on these Harbinger speakers. I'm like, okay, those are trash. I whatever you have to say, I've used Harbinger speakers, and that was the worst experience I ever had in my life. Anyway, yes, yeah, but we're talking about a full controller, not just a single platter, because in all honesty, you're saying it's a single rotating platter deck. So you basically load the music on. Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, that's a little different. You can use virtual turntables on the Quest 3. It's cool because you can pick from a range of actual Pioneer gear. Great for messing with the 3000s if you can't afford them. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, okay, I get that. Because you're still not going to get the feel. You're still not going to really understand the faders, the crossfader, but you can at least understand the settings. So I get that part. Almost to 50. PJ in the building, almost to 50. Am I? I haven't looked at it for a minute. I knew I was like 100 till. What am I at now? 49,870. I have 130 to go. It has been the slowest to get to 50. It's the slowest. And then I see PJ like, hey, I just hit 65. I'm like, you know what? Kick rocks. Piss me off. Son of a. Best slip rings for the Ref 7 or make my own. Well, let's see. DJ Lyrics is selling slip mats for them. I used his at Mobile Entertainment Expo. And let's see, what are his called? Let me see. Because I left them there and he's sending me more. Where's he at? This is the fault of having too many people. If I can find it, I will throw it back up there. But he's got some that he's selling, and they worked really well. Also, I still have these from the DJ Plug. The DJ Plug ones are solid too. I'd misplaced them, and then I finally found them when I was cleaning out my old office. These are kind of a hybrid. They're a little thicker, but they work well. I like the felt ones. I like a thicker felt, to be honest with you. So, but you know, they all work. I'm waiting for Pioneer to come out with their exclusive slip mats. You know what I'm talking about. I can never. There's no slip mat out there that is as good as my slip mat, and it can be reproduced. I mean, it can be, but not the same. Okay. How could they make phase better? Lots of ways. Lower profile is one thing. Make it smaller is another thing. I mean, why can't they be the size of like a 45 holder? Make them that way. Drop right on the spindle. So they're smaller. You know, because right now, for anybody that is used to moving the records, it's in the way. I don't have a problem with that. I've learned to use the sides, and now that's all I use. So I've just gotten used to it. But they're in the way. Do it like the Cross 12 does with the hockey puck. That's what I would do. I would also say that I'm still shocked that by this time they haven't found a way to either um to either build it, license it with a company, and have it built in to their hardware. Like, I'm still shocked that that's not a thing. Anyway, okay. And yeah, I agree with this, Pablo. It's just weird because it's been a long time. Uh I knew you'd like that. Steve Mix in the building. So is Tidal keeping stems available just as at an additional cost? No, stems, from what I read. Okay, let me back up. DJs will be required to pay the additional $9 or $10 per month along with their Tidal subscription. That still does not get you stem separation on Tidal currently. There's no way around that. But again, it's been funny. I have been streaming a lot less and just making sure I have the music. It's just, I go back and forth all the time. But my biggest issue with streaming, specifically with Serato, and it's happened to me on DJ before too. Not as often though. There's been cases when I've been DJing and somebody asked for a song, or the song was on the request list and I missed it. There have been cases when I have tried to load the song up and the song won't load. Not recording or anything. The song just won't load, just fails to load. And then I go to load another song and it loads just fine. And then maybe, I don't know, I go back to try to load that song in on the other deck and then it loads in. That's the kind of stuff for me that is a problem. I don't personally want to be in a situation where I need a song and I can't get to it. And I mentioned it last week that I bought a song from Apple Music, iTunes, whatever you want to call it, because when I was trying to stream the song, the streaming download was taking so long, not because of my Wi-Fi, not because of my bandwidth, because it just was moving slow. The servers going up to them and coming back down were just slow. I was able to buy the song and download it faster than streaming. So there are little things like that that prevent me from saying that it's, streaming. I like streaming. It's a good backup, but it's a backup. I would never use streaming as my go-to. And specifically, I ran into this with BeatSource. I had songs in BeatSource that I didn't realize that I downloaded, so they were always in my search, but I sent them to my offline folder. And but I hadn't used BeatSource in like 2 weeks. So I get to my party and I'm in a dead zone. And I go to open up BeatSource and BeatSource is like, "Oh, you need to log in." But I couldn't log in. I was in a dead zone. That was a problem. That's a problem. So little things like that have kind of taken me out of the game a little bit. Okay. This is true. Yeah, agreed, PJ. Yeah, he gave them to me at Mex, and I was like, "Oh!" And then they had a Rev 7 at the performance. I was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna put these on. Let's all use them and enjoy them." So I put them on, and everybody enjoyed them. I went on. I was the fourth to last person that went on. After me, Icon went on, and then Chi-Town Johnny went on, and then DeVille went on. And I alcohol, I drank a lot that night. By the time I was done, I was like, let's go. And I just left. Didn't even think about it. So somebody has lyrics, slip mats in their Rev 7, and I hope they enjoy them. So he's sending me other ones because he's a good guy. Okay, Chris, have you been getting problems with the Rev 7 update and the volume getting louder and then reactivating stems? Professor BX is answering you correctly. It is a Serato bug. If you have pre-analyzed stems before, do it again. And in all honesty, it's sometimes it's not even pre-analyzed. It's just sometimes it just does it. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. That's the most frustrating part. And it does it specifically. I mean, usually if you remove, if you remove like one thing out of it, like you remove the vocals or you remove just the bass line, and then it does this weird, it's not even the volume's not going up. It's essentially doubling the volume. It's doubling the track. So you're basically hearing it twice. And then it gets loud. It's annoying. It is annoying. Which is why you should always, not assume. I always test it. I always kind of go in and out of it real quick just to kind of hear, to see what it sounds like. How's the battery holding up for the phase? Okay, this is a very good question. So I bought, all right. So I have I'm sorry. The first year I had my phase, I had a battery bulge. So I had to send it back, and then they sent me a new box. I have 2 boxes of phase, haven't opened up the second box yet. The battery, I mean, well, let's see here. I've DJ'd here using my phase. I've DJ'd nightclubs using my phase, and I can still get through, a 3-4 hour party without my battery dying. So that's the one thing I will say. They're good. They're good. Tidal will support stems on the new DJ pricing. However, no one knows on the partners. Yeah, that sounds like that's labels. Absolutely sounds like labels. Or maybe it's not labels. Maybe it's the DJ software companies that they're almost like making them license the stems. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Kenny says, I'm getting rid of my removable SSD too. Going to get a computer with a higher hard drive. Don't say that out loud, DJ Kenny. People hate that. External hard drives are they're the sole DJ gear. Every DJ should be using an external hard drive. To each their own. And I'm going to move down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Yeah, DJ Chris. He's what he's saying is, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It always happens on an update, and sometimes it's glitchier than other times. And then they release another update, and then that's fine. It's like whatever they add on or fix always breaks stems, and then the next release fixes stems again. Again, Serato's in need of a rewrite. It's in need of a rewrite. That's just it. Depending on the song, sometimes I just say I don't have the song, period. Okay. Yeah, that's the one thing that you always forget about. That you can play a song, and this is just a Serato thing, because I believe Virtual DJ, I know Engine does it, and Rekordbox all download the song in its entirety before they allow you to play it. Serato's the only one that you can treat it like an Xbox. Ooh, I just bought this new game, and you pop it in. It's like, oh, download the 19 gigabyte patch. Like, I just bought the game. Why do I have to download a patch? And then you start downloading, and it's like 25%. You can play the game. I'm like, oh, sweet. Okay, kids, 25%. Press to start. Cool. All right, let's go. Let's go. You're on the opening window, and you're changing your outfit, and you're walking through the barracks, and then you go to start the mission, and it's like, ooh, sorry. You need to keep downloading the game for that. What's the point of telling me I could start that? Don't do that. And that's kind of the way stems are. It'll load up a certain amount, and once that's loaded up, it'll let you play it. And you better hope your streaming can keep up with your bandwidth, because if it can't, you're gonna have dead air. That happened to me at a nightclub. I was playing a song and I had to go to the bathroom, so I said, "Security guard, help me out. Can you just stand here?" And the song was fine. And I went to play it, and I went to go to the bathroom, and I made it like to the end of the bar, and all of a sudden, dead silence. I'm like, fuck. Run back. Song hadn't kept up. So loaded a new song in. It happens. It happens. I always thought Faye should have a laser light that goes across the record so you don't have to put a long sticker on it. Yeah. I mean, that'd be cool. That'd absolutely be cool. Yeah. Yeah, Rick. I mean, this is true, but you still run into the same situation, because if it lasts longer than a week, because I mean, all this disposable wrap, I mean, I can still get about a month to 2 months out of it. So, it's fine. I mean, honestly, is that one song going to carry that it's on your hard drive? You can always delete it later, but there's going to be a moment where nostalgia kicks in, and you're going to end up playing it again, maybe 4 or 5 years from now. All right, Balance. Good to hang with you. All right. What time is it? 12:13. Okay. Exactly. It's all software based. What controller would you pick for Algorithm DJ besides the Mixon 8? Oh God. I don't know. The T7? Damn it. Look, here's the issue. I mean, we know that like the Flex 4 has algorithm support now. I believe the Rev 1 does too. The problem is the controllers it needs to work for, it doesn't work for. Although it does work with the Rev 7, so I'm a happy camper. I love that it works with the Rev 7. Excuse me. But I mean, the Mixon 8 it's designed for, but it's also designed for Serato. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. DJ is a funny thing. I just wanted to work for everything, and it doesn't. So the controller that I pick, because I use, is a Rev 7, but I want DJ to work with all things. Works great on a CJ 3000 and A9. Okay. I can believe that. You can set the song to death. No, that's what I'm saying. Professor BX. Even if it's in your offline locker. Okay, because I do that all the time. But even if it's in your offline locker, if you don't log in to BeatSource within a certain period of time, and it's not the time like, oh, I used it on Monday, so I have to log in on Friday. It's not that way. It just randomly has a timer in there like, okay, you got to log in again. So if I log in, if I miss that time to log in and all my songs are sitting in my offline folder and I get to a place that's in a dead spot, it won't allow me to play those songs. That's what I'm saying. You can't, because I can't log in, even though they're in my offline folder. So they should be there, and they are there, but I have no access to them. George says, maybe a dumb question. Do you always have stereo or mono on Serato selected for better sound? I rock mono all day, every day. There's no real need for stereo sound, especially if you are a mobile guy or if you are a club guy, because in general, stereo sound does not matter. Especially in a club when the majority of them are running mono. So why would you run stereo and risk having your sounds be all jacked up? Now a lot of them will sum it to a mono input, but I just figure might as well just run mono. You know, especially when you're rocking old school stereophonic stuff. Like I ran into a situation once where one of my speakers blew on a party. And but it was like, you know, we had like an hour left and one speaker was fine. And I played like a Beatles track, and the Beatles track was stereophonic, and the track sounded like trash because it was separating out in stereo. So I run everything in mono. Okay. Okay. DJ Pete says, which controller does it work for? 6 of one and half of the other. Varies by DJ. I don't know what that means. I think we're talking about the software DJ in the hardware. The bottom line here is that it doesn't work, or it works in some certain capacities for a lot of major software out here. I mean, major hardware. Look, hey, again, it does not affect me if DJ does not choose to be more aggressive with their MIDI mappings. It doesn't affect me. If they want to do that, and then, you know, they want to stay with the status quo of whatever people are currently using is what they're going to use, that's fine. But in all honesty, when I see things like Flex 4 update to allow for DJ, why the hell wasn't that updated before? Like, it's silly. You know, I know there's a lot of people that defend algorithm DJ. I don't know why. I'm not asking for them to, you know, do anything but what they're supposed to do. And that is MIDI map controllers. You know, it's just weird. We're universal, but not universal. You know, make it make sense. So if that's what they're going to do it, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I just won't use it, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm rooting for them. You get it? You know, see what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to help them. Apparently they don't need my help, and that's cool. That's cool. I'm saying that when you do a stream, always set it to go to locker. Play after it is actually. Yes, I know what you're saying. I get it. We're just talking about slightly two different things. Because I agree with you. When I download music, I always pull it to my locker first. You know, but you still have to be able to log in. The access is the problem. Okay. I heard it's not always a software. Okay. All right. So, yes, I'm fully aware that certain pieces of gear require drivers and things like that, which they can't port over to iOS. They can do it on the computer, but they can't do it in iOS. I get that. I'm not saying that that's the issue. I'm saying that there are products right now that they haven't ported over for the computer either. That's it. Like, I get it if iOS has a limitation. I get that. But the Mac doesn't. The Mac can accept every driver. So what's taking so long for a lot of these things? That's what I'm saying. Again, I'm a fan. I really am. but I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I wish a company would use the exact same look and size of motorized potters that are in the old Denon 3700s. Okay. Well, maybe one day they will. Yeah, but it does. But also, all what it's doing is it's basically telling me that it's not ready to go. So I can now I can see that it's not ready to go for longer periods of time. I don't know if that's any better. It's all the same. Stereo sound does not matter unless you're playing older music, 70s and 60s. And that's what I'm saying, Kenny. I'm saying that it doesn't matter at all from a live perspective, from a DJ perspective, because if you're playing that older music, it's a lot of times better to sum it together, because what's a perfect song? Oh, Satisfaction, Rolling Stones. Perfect example. The guitar in Satisfaction comes out of, I think, the right speaker, and it only comes out the right speaker. The drums come out, they're panned way left along with the bass. That is a weird sound when you're on a dance floor and you happen to be near one side of the dance floor. Okay. So I would prefer to run mono. That way everybody hears the same thing. How do you set up your monitor during your gigs, or do you use split queue? What do you mean? I mean, every single, the majority of controllers out there, especially if they're considered like pro level controllers, all have booth monitors out, all of them. However, I use in-ears, so, and you guys know that. But even if I choose to not have both my in-ears in, and the weird thing is, I'm a big proponent of split queue, and I rarely use split queue now, because when I was DJing on Twitch, yeah, I did, over the pandemic, I always I'll use a lot of controllers that didn't have split queue in them. So I got used to just working the master and queue the same way. So now it's very simple. I just rock master queue. So when I'm queuing up, if I have both my things in, I'm queuing up, cool. Then I roll the whole thing over to master, and then I DJ like I'm standing in front of the speakers. And that is my booth. Now, if I do have a booth monitor and I keep one out, sometimes I will. Yeah, I just run it out of the booth out. And you can go 1/4 inch. Some of them are XLR, but I have a 1/4 inch to XLR output. Cord, I should say, not output, cord. So that's what I run. Do you think Traktor will come back? I think the more important question is, do you think that you will ever use Traktor? And my answer is no. Maybe. Buffalo Gals, 12 jump. Yeah. Instruments right, vocals left. Yeah, it's tough. No, here's a question. No, here is a question, says Pete. Can you always tell when another DJ is on stereo or mono? Not necessarily. And again, for the majority of people out there, in all honesty, if you're really listening to most hip hop, most rock, even if there is panning, it's very, very subtle now. Like unless you're going to like experimental rock and you're listening to Radiohead and stuff like that, where they're using the pan as a almost like an instrument. It is an effect that they're specifically going for. But most of them, maybe they're running like, guitars are at like 1 o'clock, bass is at 11 o'clock. The drums are probably sitting at like 11:30. And then, maybe they're panning the cymbals and stuff like that. But like, it's all very subtle. It's just not extreme like it used to be. Yeah, my biggest issue with the split Q, and it's very simple. And I guess this is my issue. Not my issue with split Q, but just why it doesn't work for me specifically. Doesn't work with me specifically. The issue here is that even when I was working split Q, if you scratch at all on your events, then split Q gets in the way anyway. So, because if I'm scratching and I can hear the record and I never hear the cutout, I don't know what I'm doing. I got to run it to master anyway, so I can do that. So, for me, split, it was just better for that. Now, also, one of the things with split Q that can mess with you is you don't get an indication of true levels. I get a better indication when I'm running into master the whole way. And then I can tell if my levels are accurate because, the in-ears, one of the bigger problems is, you don't necessarily hear it the way the club is hearing it. And then you bring in a song and it's too low. But if you run it out of the master, then if the levels are good in your master, the levels are going to be good when they hit the dance floor. Okay. All right. Hans Gruber. Are you using in-ears to protect your ears? I tried them, but it felt strange not to hear the sound what the crowd is hearing. Couldn't get used to it. So there's a couple different ways. I have several different in-ears. The over the counter, off the shelf earphones. I have the SE525s. I have the Mackie in-ears. What else do I have? And then I have the Ultimate ears. Now, Ultimate ears can fix that issue because it's an upgrade. But if you get the upgrade with the holes in them, it's just a small little hole. It allows some airflow in. Then you can hear the sound that everybody else is hearing too. It's lower, but you can hear it. But even so, that's where, like I said, putting it on full mix is the most important part. DJ Lab, why does Propioneer, I think that's Pioneer, DJ gear have the ping pong effect if nobody uses stereo in a club? The real question is, how many people use the ping pong effect? There's software. There are effects that are in the programs, and not just Pioneer DJ. In music has them too. Where I'm like, who uses this? Does anybody really use this effect? That's why to each their own. What was that when they played the performance songs for the dance comp? Whatever was on the right channel was lost, and in some songs it sounded horrible, either no beat or missing instruments. Yeah. That happens all the time at the dance competitions, all the time. And I'm just like, you guys just be smarter than this. You'll accept any form of media that they send you. All right. Yep. Okay. I mean, yes. Oh no, my battery's dead. Yes and no, PJ. I think, hold on, let me see. I think it depends. But yes, that definitely using, stereo imagers are definitely making it bigger, but like, I don't know. All of my music, I always find you need to carve out space for everything. And if you don't carve out space and everything's dead center, the mix is terrible. So you have to spend a little more time carving out a little space. So slight pans. I'm not talking extreme, just slight pans. You know, roll off some bass on this one, pan it to, you know, I don't know, 12:15. You know, add some here, pan it to 12:30. Like it's all within like the 1 to 2 or 12 to 2 spectrum. Like I'm not trying to do hard pans anymore, but I still think people do them. But yeah, but stereo imaging is the easiest way to do it. Like that's like when you send your stuff to like these AI mix downs. Like that's all they're doing. It's like add a compressor, add a stereo imager, and a brick wall limiter on top. It's louder. It feels a little more open, but you're never going to get as open as if you actually do the mix yourself. Yep, exactly. So it's just easier for me to just run everything mono. It's just easier. Is there a software to equalize all your music files to the same level? Yeah. Serato, Virtual DJ, they all have options to analyze your track and bring it up to a specific decibel level. It's in the settings. I would not, if this is what you're asking, I would never take all of my music and run it through a maximizer or a limiter. I would never do that. I'll just make the adjustments on the fly. Biggie Small says, can you help me with your YouTube celebrity status to put pressure on analog cases to make a Ref 7 case? They have one on their site for the Ref 5 and it only weighs 16 pounds. Dope. They are from LA. They're not going to listen to me. Hey man, make that case. What are you waiting for? I mean, obviously they've done a cost analysis and they probably figured that, you know, maybe in order to make the Rev 7 case, it's going to have to be better supported than the Rev 5 because Rev 5 is a lighter controller. Maybe they decided that it was just going to add too much weight and it didn't make sense. I don't know, but I'm just assuming. I mean, people aren't in the habit of not trying to make money. Keith just, I use ping pong. Fair enough. Keith just used ping pong. We're not going to call it the ping pong to Keith just because he's the only person I know that uses ping pong. And it's funny too, because I do use ping pong potentially when I'm creating music. I just don't like it when I'm DJing. My name sounds so strange with your American accent. Well, your name sounds strange to my American. Play for the crowd who don't know beat 1 or 4, nor stereo versus mono. They just want a good song. Don't play for DJs. They're a bum crowd in a corner like they are discussing election results. Yeah, I agree. But, you know, that's why I run mono. I don't run mono for the DJs. I run monos to protect my sound. That's all. Very simple. I never necessarily know what engineers are doing and how much they know and if they're actually good engineers. There's a lot of cocky ass engineers that don't know anything about their systems, you know? So it's just easier. Hey man, that's a question you got to ask them. Look, clearly people are using them. I'm not saying they're not using them, but you know, does the Euphonia have ping pong? I don't even know. Let me see. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. You know, I mean, if we know the club is providing I mean, but these are the same clubs that are like, bring your WAV files. So I'm not playing on those clubs anyway. I have a hard time trusting my in-ear monitors. I only feel comfortable when I have a speaker running mono. I mean, it takes a minute. You know, when I first started using in-ears, I never trusted the in-ears, and that was because of I think because of the airflow. Like that was a big issue for me. But during the pandemic, you know, I'm DJing in my house, and there are people literally in the next door sleeping or behind me, so I had to go in-ears or headphones, complete headphones over the cans. I had to do that because I didn't have the opportunity to do anything different. So you get used to it. It just takes practice. It takes practice. Um, uh, Kylie in the house. What's going on? It's pretty good to run music through Platinum Notes. Good experience with it. Hey, again, I don't have a problem with anybody using whatever they want to use. For me specifically, I just don't need to deal with it. I mean, I've gotten my songs to the proper levels. I mean, I think what's the issue? I think depending on when you started DJing has a lot to do with how you DJ now. Certain things just don't go away. And one of those things is, you know, I mean, really using your ears and making sure that the levels are in before you bring them in. I don't know. I don't like over compressing my music, for the sake of uniformity. Me personally, that's it. I modified my 1000 SRT slider case to fit my Rev 7, and holy hell, is that a heavy? Yeah, I mean, first off, it was already heavy because of the slider case. Like that's why I don't choose slider cases anymore. It just adds too much weight. And now, I mean, I'm using furniture now, but even before, you needed more space to accommodate your slider. So I just said, the slider's just getting in the way, you know. So now I went back to computer stands when I'm using, like, I mean, obviously I have my, I got my foldable table that has a stand built into it. If I'm using like an Odyssey table, I'll bring one of my old stands with me. And I keep a stand in my, what do you call it? My jetpack bag. Ill. Oh, yeah, this would be a cool thing. I don't have one. I don't have an RMX 1000, but I am going to grab, from the powers that be, a couple of effects boards to kind of run through it and see. I'm actually curious. I am going to, what I really want to run into its paces, and I want to hear the difference between, you know, recording out of the S11 versus recording out of the Euphonia versus recording out of the Rev 7, and just checking just true sonic differences. Because like I said before, I can't make the Euphonia clip. No matter how hard I tried, I can't make a clip. Now, I can get it to a point where I think the effects were on and I had the high pass filter, and then I was running full knobs everywhere. I was running on, 11 on every single one of them. And it did not clip, but it definitely changed the sonics of the song. And I knew it because I was trying to make it sound horrible. And I noticed the song doesn't sound the same. But in general, I can't make a clip. I can't. Now, my Rev 7, I can make the Rev 7 clip. I can make the Rev 7 clip easily. For most people that don't know, with the Rev 7, it seems to work best when if the trims are somewhere around 10 o'clock, 9 to 10 o'clock. And then you have to use your master to push that sound out. But if you have your trims at 12, you have less play on your master, in all honesty. So, and it's just learning. Every system is different. You have to learn with every system. I mean, I still remember to this day, rocking my S9 and then plugging in my SX, and everything was redlining because I had adjusted the sounds within Serato, and Serato doesn't care if you're using a different controller. So then I had to bring everything back down again. Yeah. Oh, interesting. That's too bad that you can't get a Rain 1 in case. That's weird. Yeah. No, the Euphonia is actually right over there. Do I have my thing? What's it called? What is that stream deck called? I got to make sure I'm shooting it the right way. Elgato? Did I not download it on this phone? Huh. Anyway, I would have showed you. But no, it's sitting right over there. It's not hidden. Everybody, that's not a secret. I can keep that exposed. But I will say this though. It does sound really good. Like, it's been a while since I've like pushed the sound and felt that warmth that only happens with, like, you know, analog compression. Like, it's been a while. Oh, thank you so much, Don Rafa. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, I enjoy making the content. I know it can take a lot of, I mean, it's funny. The content itself doesn't take a lot of time for me on IG. Like, I can fly through it. Like, my routine is fast. But it is a lot of work, you know, and so I appreciate that. Thank you. Yep, exactly. Dynamic range is key. Is key. Beat matching don't go away. Neither does clarity. So those are staples. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. 100%. You know, there's just certain things that I can't do. You know, I mean, let me give you an example. I was DJing on Sunday and was using my Rev, and every so often I will get files. Maybe I was syncing with, like, you know, I was moving some stuff over with one of the syncing softwares, you know, like Mixmaster G's or Lexicon or something like that. So, and every so often I will get songs that just, that the BPMs don't pass over. At no time in my life have I ever been concerned that I don't know, I don't see the BPM on the screen. At not one time. I know the music. I know the tempo. I know the internal tempo that I hear in my head when I think of the song. And I know where it should be. You know, I mean, even if I can't see that, oh, I put it up to 128, like, I know for a fact, you know, it needs to be sitting at around, you know, I don't know, 4 on my fader. It's just a natural thing from learning. I think everybody should DJ on occasion without the BPMs displayed. Just DJ, get your ears better. It makes a lot of difference, because I can't stand this DJ. Like, I can't stand that DJ. I don't hate that DJ, but I'm just like, why? Anyway, that's a whole different animal. Okay. Fair enough, T Diesel. Fair enough. Is anyone having trouble creating playlists on the newest Rekordbox update? I can't seem to be able to drag and drop into playlist. I have not experienced that, but I can open it up real quick. Rekordbox. Make sure it's the right one. Hold on, it has to read tracks first, and then it has to read my stems. You know how this works. And I'm in the process of updating all these things too. Speaking of gig bar.
All right, what is going on, everybody? It's your man Cleveland Terry. We are at the Chevette booth, and we are checking out some of the new stuff that they have. First off, I got to talk about this guy right here. You know what this is? This is the Gig Bar case. It is a hard case. Hard case. Go ahead, open it up. Open it up. Oh. It is about damn time. About damn time. Also, I want to show you something else because I'm shocked. Remember in my video last time, guys, I talked about the fact that the Gig Bar Move was cool with the ILS, but it needed its own controller. If I didn't want to rock the Gig Bar, like maybe I just wanted to rock some totems. Guess what? Bam! Bam! ILS command. This is exactly what Chevette needed. Exactly.
All right. So one thing that I cannot. Yeah. All right. Let me go back to the old one because I'm on the wrong system here. And you guys, I don't know if this is available yet. So let me hold up the old one. Okay. As I'm looking for that, are DJs tricking themselves thinking effects matter and equipment matters? I'm a dancer and I only care about the track. I never go home tripping about some effect. Play great music and drop it right. Okay. Yeah. So, it's an interesting thing because we're talking about potentially a couple of different things. I'm just trying to get to Record Box. There we go. We're talking about potentially two different things. One, a DJ with tricks, flash effects, whatever you want to call it, can infuse new energy into a club. When you stem something out or loop a phrase and then bring another beat in, like those are all effects, but it's just, I think that's the kind of key. Now, if somebody's playing the music and they're scratching over the whole song, yeah, I get it. As a dancer, you don't want to hear that, and as a dancer, specifically as a dancer, a lot of dancers don't like DJs to get in and out of music because you want to do your stuff. You want to do your moves. And if they're changing too fast, it messes with you. So I get it. You guys are a little bit of an anomaly. Okay. So why aren't you changing? All right. Record Box 6.8.4. Here's all my folders here. All right, so let's go to new music. And let's move Forget About Dre into adults. All right. Adult. Forget About Dre. Now, there's a possibility that you were trying to do it from iTunes, because if you're trying to do it from iTunes, iTunes should not let you copy over. Hold on, am I still on iTunes? Sorry. iTunes. Yeah, iTunes should not let you copy over. That's right. I forgot. I don't even run iTunes anymore. So that's really the only possibility, is you're trying to copy it to a crate that is iTunes specific. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. A couple more. What time is it? 12:52. All right. I'm going to be out of here by 1. But even the Record Box 7 beta, I just did it. I just pulled it in. And it worked just fine. So my guess is you're probably trying to copy it through an iTunes. Okay. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Oh, they must have hated you. Okay. I haven't done one yet. That Euphonia review is not going to come out for at least 30 days. At least 30 days, in all honesty, because I don't want to approach it. I mean, look, if you want to get a review about the rotary, right now, go look at Mojex's. He'll break it down for you. He's a rotary king. I am not. So I have to approach it differently, because if I come in here and be like, sounds good, turn the knobs, and then I turn the knobs over here, and then here's some effects. Okay, cool. Go out and spend $3,800 on it. Like that's not an argument. That's not even a review. So I'm going to approach the review differently, from a different perspective. Okay. Kenny, tips to playing a track with a lot of kick and then let it consistently hit amber right into red. Yeah, I don't mind running. I mean, look, even if it runs into the red on the trims, as long as it's not red all the time, you should be fine. But if it pops into the red on occasion and goes back to white and amber or green and amber, you're fine. Okay. On everything else but the Euphonia. That one you just keep in the red. Okay. Yep, exactly. All right. Have you played much with DJ Studio? I have not played with DJ Studio at all, DJ Lab. I'll touch it at one time. I don't have the time for it right now. I'm sure it's fine, but I don't have the time. And anything that rips YouTube is, I don't know, man. I don't know. I will reserve judgment until I actually use the thing. On top of the BPM on screen, if you could only have one track info point on your screen when the track is loaded, what would it be and why? Well, that's easy. All I want to know is where my cue points are. That's it. Show me the cue points. I need to see where I am in the song. Or if I need to bring a cue point in early, I need to see, where that is. That's all I care about. In all honesty, I don't look at my screen. And on my Rev 7, I don't even have the waveforms in the jogs. I keep literally my logo in the jogs. So I don't really need it. So, and like, for instance, okay, perfect example. So, when I'm using Serato, let me just do that real quick. You can't open Serato real quick. I don't know why I just said that. When I'm using Serato, if I had it my way, I would run it. And I don't have iTunes set up. It's just Serato. Oh, and they readjusted my stuff. Okay. Okay. So, let me find something. This is really annoying that they did this. All right. Perfect example. Not that this is a perfect example, but it works. Okay. So if I had it my way, I would love to see it literally like this. Okay. This is how I would normally like to run it. The only problem is I need to know what the cue points are, because although they're not labeled here, they're labeled in my other stuff, break into verse, or if there's like or if there's like a snare in, You know, like I'll say snare in, but if it looks like this, I don't know which one's the snare in. So so I have to keep it open and I run vertical, just so I know if there's a snare in or if something starts like what's a good one? Hold on. I don't have it on that one. A lot of times, if the song does not start on the snare and doesn't start on the one, but there's like a word they say, I will legitimately type the word in. And it makes it easier. Here. I'm looking for something. Huh. Yeah. So like Baby, I'm a Fireball, the bridge. Trying to find some, but it's not. Feels like my cues are all out of whack here. Yeah. And this one I know. This one is just I'm bringing. So I know when it's coming in. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like my cue points have been reset. Which is very, very weird. Because I know I'd labeled that. Okay, I got to figure that part out. Huh. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. Okay. Let's see here. Phil Tan in the building. What's going on? They want effects. You are very welcome, Aaron. You're very welcome. You guys are very thankful today. I appreciate that. I'm thankful that you guys are here, honestly. I need to replace my battery. That might be my sign to leave. Okay. Because I am dead in the water. Okay, I got a couple more. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like an issue. Correct. The labels on top. but don't look, I'm not talking about it from a programming perspective like Mixmaster is. I know that it's harder to program. I know that, but it'd be nice. Okay. Sometimes it feels that way. Sometimes I wonder. Yo, I just booked my first wedding. Yeah? Dope. When is it? Next week. Can you believe it? Next week. Okay. Do you have any gear? Yeah. I have two 12-inch speakers. Okay. Well, you might want to rent or borrow somebody's sub. Okay. All right. That's cool. What about microphone? You have a microphone? Well, I mean, I have a corded microphone. Yeah, again, you might want to go out and rent or borrow somebody's wireless microphone. Okay. A week from now is pretty quick. Do you have all the music? Do you have everything they need? I have some music, but I have like my SoundCloud streaming service, and if I need to, YouTube. How much are they paying you? Bro, 6 hours plus the ceremony, $300. Oh, you're good. Yeah? Yeah, you're good, man. You're good. Have a good time. Sweet. Thanks, man. AAA battery. So hopefully this will be enough to get me through, because I can't even shut this thing down without having access. So the joy of wireless. All right. Okay. A couple more, and then I'm out of here. Do you know the software which can tag the Yearner song? Yeah. Mixmaster G's programs, his suite of his software suite can do that. Lexicon can do that. There's a couple of other companies out there that have software that does that. I mean, literally, you can like throw a stick in the air and you'll hit somebody that does it. Maybe. Oh, maybe. Okay. It is. I'm gonna go get my car washed. It is a beautiful day. I'm actually, even though I'm under the weather, my day is lighter call wise, and I finished. See, this is what I said earlier, guys. I finished the two main projects, and it literally just like opened up my brain, because when you're always focused on, oh my God, I have to do this, and you're delaying it, you're putting it off, and you're putting it off, and meanwhile everything else is compounding around you. It messes everything up creatively. And now I'm like, okay, I've done that. Now I'm not thinking about that other thing. Why are my lights on? It's so bright in here. I was looking for the battery. See, it was destroying the vibe. And now my creative juices are flowing because I know I have more time to do stuff. It's funny because I'm not going to have as much time when that LED wall comes, because I mean, it's going to take a while to build the thing and learn the thing and break it down and build it and break it down and build it and put it on the truss and put it on the stand and put it on that. Like, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, because you don't want to walk into a place and not be prepared for the system. I mean, as far as LED walls are concerned, the biggest issue with LED walls is not the LED wall. It's the amount of power required for it. See, that's the one thing that people don't realize. When like, I'm going to buy an LED wall. And then they get to a place and they're like, oh, we want like a 9x16 or a 10x20. And then you get there and you realize that it requires like 110 amps in order to run the thing properly. A lot of venues don't have separate circuits on every plug around the venue. So now you got to figure out a way to find, because the average circuit is what, 15 amps. You have to find a way to find what, 9 separate circuits, You know, so that's why people don't want to go too high. Like that's why they'll try to stay with like a 9x16, because maybe you only need 50 to 60 amps, and that's, you know, four dedicated circuits. So but there's more information involved. Like you really do need to know and understand power requirements and ampage, and it's a lot, you know. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time working on that thing, and I think I will do some videos on it also. I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably do one of my live streams at the office, and we'll kind of go through stuff, and people can ask questions, and then, you know, we'll learn as we go. I'm going to do a couple of videos. I will do some gig logs on the LED wall, because I think a lot of people have questions about it and want to know what is required. So I think it'll help out. Okay. All right, DJ Lab, good to see you. I can leave, Danny. Sorry. Damn, man. Never heard somebody tell me to get off my own stream. Hey, I mean, look, there's still, you know, 88 people in here. But I am leaving. Okay. Last couple of questions, and then I'm out. And my seat's big old 3-phase. Yep, exactly. Has a venue ever charged per plug you use? Absolutely not. If a venue's charging you for each plug, that is a trash venue, and you should leave and never work there again. In all honesty, I've never had anybody even consider bringing that up. The only time they will charge you, only one time, is if your power requirements exceed what the room can provide, and then they will tell you, well, we can provide you with a power drop. And that power drop might cost a considerable amount of money, because it's giving you, like, you know, 20 circuits out of that power drop. So, but it just depends. That's the only time anybody's ever said, hey, we're going to need to charge you, is if I've requested a power drop, you know. Which is funny, because we don't even need the power drop. We're the lightest of the stuff, but people will come in sometimes, especially if the LED wall gets there first, because they always get there early, and they'll take up all the plugs. LED walls, AV companies, they'll take up all the plugs. And you're like, dude, if you're going to, like, I only know two companies, 2 legitimate AV companies that when I get there, they will have taken all the ports, but they will have ran me 2 dedicated cords too. Okay. Like, here's your power right here. Here's 2 of them, 2 dedicated circuits. Thank you so much. People who just take all the plugs and then are like, oh, you're going to have to figure it out. I'm literally the person in the center of the room. Why am I the one that has to now run it to the other side of the room? Like, that's just dumb. Some are like that. And some just, we're not like that. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And where's the, do you put in your contract? Of course. Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's not in our contract. Because to be honest with you, there's nothing illegal about arriving when you arrive, as long as you arrive and are set up to go by the time that party starts. Now, you might be considered unprofessional, or it's just bad form if you get there with 10 minutes to spare, but you're set up and ready to go, because people freak out. But in our contract, it just has the time of the event, when the event starts, when the event ends. In our emails that go out, our automated emails, the one that goes out like 2 weeks before, we basically take their times again, and we're like, ladies, thank you for booking us. We will arrive approximately 2 hours before your event. We don't need anything, just a power plug. It's in the contract, that like the power requirements, but we just remind them in the email, because people don't read. But even then, I've had planners where you're like, we'll be there 2 hours before. We had to change it to approximately, because at 1 hour and 50 minutes. If they don't see the company, they're texting and calling and freaking out. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, they're not here yet. I'm like, there's still another hour and 45 minutes to get there. They'll be fine. Just relax. So we now say approximately, because people freak out. Okay. That's so dumb. Well, I mean, look, all of a sudden my chair wants to fall over now. I mean, it's not dumb. It's them, which is dumb. However, I would roll that off to the client. If I know I'm at that venue, your bill's going to be $50 more. It's the same clients that are like, oh, we want you to work at this hotel and there's no street parking. You got to valet it no matter what. And they don't pay for valet. So you've now made me and my crew pay $30 to $50 per person for the vehicles, and you're not going to recoup it. No. So now it says it in there. If there is no public free parking, you may be charged. If it's $5 or whatever, I'm not going to concern myself over that. That's fine. But once it gets up to a certain level, if it's too high, because my crews, they'll tell me, oh my God, it cost me $30 to park, because they're not making the same amount of money that I am, and whatever. I get it. So we still reimburse them for their parking, just because it's not right for them to have to pay. They got to make money. Okay. All right. Last one. Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know. I think that for me, that kind of falls into setup and delivery. I gotta go. I gotta show up. I gotta set up. I gotta break down. I gotta take it home. I just love the venues that are like, there's a couple of venues with like midnight hard outs, and when the party ends at 11:30, they're like, oh, well, you'll need to come back on tomorrow to get your equipment. I'm like, nope, no, I'm not. I'm going to take my, or there's a couple of hotels with sound ordinances. So if it's at a certain time, they tell you can't load your equipment in after that certain time. I'm like, nope. Or else I'm going to charge the client, and I'm going to charge the client like $500 because I had to set up early and because I had to come back. So that's on you. And you tell the client, they're like, no, you're not. And then they tell them no. But yeah, I've never left my equipment over. I've unless it was arranged. I've done a couple of like Palm Springs events where I set up the day before and then it's up the whole weekend, and we keep coming back. But yeah, not my thing. Lou, oh my God, I don't even know how we would get the screening. There's nobody here to do the screening. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out. I was thinking about that too. Like, how do I know what they're calling for? So, I guess maybe I could set it up through because I'm not giving anybody my real phone number. Maybe I could set it up through like one of my Google phone numbers, because don't they have the voicemail read through or the text? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it would be cool to have a person that could answer the phone and take the caller. That'd be really cool. One day, I don't think my wife's going to want to be involved with that right now. DJ Kenny, thank you, man, for the super chat. Appreciate you, fam. Oh, well, I'm glad I could help your drive along. I'm glad. They provided left side of pickup. It was a dream. Oh, there you go. All right, guys. I'm definitely going to get out of here now because it is 1:15 and I'm going to get some work done. See, my brain is flowing right now. Thank you guys for all hanging out. I appreciate you. This is Purim week and Passover. So we're not doing any bar mitzvahs. We have like 2 corporate events this Saturday. And the same with next week because it's one whole week. Then after that, it turns into 10 bar mitzvahs every Saturday night. So, I don't think I'll have anything to show anything, but we'll figure it out. All right. I got to get out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Have great parties, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.